So we purchased these kits with some money that we needed to spend by the end of June. And so we bought some other things for communities, but these are some things that we thought that maybe we could share with programs that are interested. And these are through, it's called STEMfinity. It's called PCS Adventures. And so these are, they say summer camp kits, or I think it's summer camp or camp kits, just
Yeah.
because they want them more for out of school time and summer camps and things like that. So they're more hands-on than maybe sitting and listening. And so, so this is, so as somebody that purchased this kit, we have access to these resources through through Adventures. And so so these are all the kits that we had purchased. And so you have Zoo, Brick Lab Zoo, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to hit resources and it takes me to this page where it gives me instructor prep videos. So I will play these here in a minute. And then also if I need more booklets or curriculum, I can go ahead and download and print them. So for some reason you like lose your curriculum booklet, um, I can go and print another one if I need to. So, but I will just start with the overview video, and then at the end, I will stop it and see if you have any questions before I move on to the next.
Okay.
Okay. And I can expand this.
Thank you for purchasing Brick Lab Zoo. In this video, you'll become familiar with the structure and flow of this curriculum, get an idea of the content covered, and see the materials included in your kit. In Brick Lab Zoo, students explore the globe to discover distant ecosystems and amazing biological diversity through hands-on STEM activities. Learners investigate complex creatures as they build brick models of each animal, focusing in on the adaptations that make them special and allow them to survive in their unique environments. PCS products are designed to engage communication and reasoning skills among early learners. In every PCS camp, learners engage in a range of STEM activities that build confidence and understanding, all while having fun. The pedagogy of PCS camps is rooted in a framework known as Bloom's taxonomy, which looks at the learning process as a hierarchy of cognitive skills, beginning with baseline skills like remembering and understanding information, then moving up the pyramid to apply, analyze, and evaluate that information. And finally, culminating in using that information to create something new. You'll see this structure mirrored throughout PCS curriculums, with earlier activities in a curriculum laying out the groundwork for deeper learning later on in the sequence. PCS camps are designed to align with grade level appropriate national standards like the Next Generation Science Standards, ISTE standards, and Common Core state standards. Relevant standards are listed on each day for your convenience. PCS camps are also designed to build soft skills like those outlined in the Habits of Mind and 21st Century Skills frameworks. Both frameworks focus on learning dispositions, which have been shown to contribute to student success. You'll see these alignments listed alongside the content standards for each day. Now let's take a look at what's included in your kit. When you open the box, on top, you'll find your digital resource license key. Make sure to put this somewhere safe. Your kit comes with a bound instructor guide, a set of printed student build books, a full set of Brick Lab bricks, a mesh bag for cleaning your bricks, a brick separator tool, and these handy storage bins. When you're ready to dig into your educator guide, there are a few things to keep in mind. Most PCS camps follow a similar format, so if you have purchased our products before, this will probably look familiar. In your guide, the first thing you'll see listed on each day are the STEM connections, which are essentially the big ideas being covered on that day. Next, you'll see the estimated duration for the day's lesson. As you can see in this example, each day is designed to take about an hour without any of the extensions, but this will of course vary some from group to group. Moving down the page, you'll see a list of any materials from your kit that you'll be using that day. Be sure to locate and have these ready before you start teaching. Next, in the schedule section, you'll see a more detailed breakdown of the estimated timing for each activity. Each day will also call out any necessary prep steps, including notes on brick management. Each day will also include some background information. The amount of information included will vary from day to day, but we always recommend taking the time to read it. In some cases, you may choose to read the information out loud directly to students. Each day of Brick Lab Zoo begins with a short discussion and optional intro activity. Then, students complete a build of the day's focus animal, as well as a related engineering challenge. Also included in this section are any recommended extensions. In this case, one focused on math and another on English language arts. Then, at the end, you'll see that there are several wrap-up questions which can be used to debrief that day's activities and check for understanding. Then, as I mentioned, we have the aligned content standards and relevant 21st century skills and habits of mind listed here as well. Check out the following videos to get an understanding of any preparation required of you, see an overview of the learning sequence, including digging into one of the day's lessons, and to gain tips and tricks for facilitating, along with suggestions.
Okay, enough on that one. Okay, so a couple things that I picked up are the brick. So I think I dumped all of the Legos into the tub. So so I don't know how many kids you will have at one time. But the only concern if you had too many would be having enough Legos for that group. So maybe try to keep it to 15 or 20 at a time. You can do it, over several days with several different groups as well.
Yeah, that's what I
And
think I'm gonna do.
yeah, and then the other thing is they showed the Lego bag. Don't worry about that. When I get
Okay.
them back, I will clean them before I give them to the next site. So
Okay.
those are the things that I thought of during that. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. All right, let's do preparation.
Welcome back. Let's continue to dig into Brick Lab Zoo. In this video, you'll get an understanding of the preparation required both before you begin teaching this camp, as well as on a day-to-day basis. Let's jump in. Before getting started on day one, you'll want to take some time to fully unpack, look through, and organize your materials. One thing you'll need to decide is your approach for brick management. Consider how you will distribute bricks among learners. You may want to leave bricks in their boxes in central locations and let learners come up to get them. You can also put bricks in small bins and distribute them among the tables. Or you can always think of your own strategy. You'll also want to have a plan for how learners will share their build books. Since they will work in pairs, you may choose to have teams look at the diagrams together or have teammates take turns looking at the books individually. Depending on your classroom setup, you may want to have learners complete their builds on the floor. If so, we recommend having some padded mats on hand. Now let's take a look at the day-to-day prep required while teaching Brick Lab Zoo. In order to give you a better sense of what it will entail, we're going to look at the preparation required in a couple of specific categories. First up is the physical supply prep. You'll want to allow about 3 minutes each day to organize the bricks how you want them so that they're ready for groups to grab, whether in small bins ready to be placed at tables or in their boxes in designated places around the room. You'll also need to have your build plan booklets ready for each learner or team. In terms of digital resource use, there are no slides or videos associated with this curriculum, so you won't need to allow time to set up a screen or projector. This curriculum also does not require students to use any devices on any of the days, so no need to worry about charging anything before the day's lessons. You will want to take some time to read and familiarize yourself with the daily background information, which will provide information about the animal and habitat being studied on that day. We recommend allowing around 3 minutes to fully read through each day's information prior to teaching. Finally, you'll want to allow around 5 minutes of cleanup time at the end of each day to break down builds so that bricks are available for the following day's lessons. Alternately, you may choose to save a few minutes at the end of each day's lesson so that students can help you with this part. Check out the following 2 videos to see an overview of the learning sequence, including digging into one of the day's lessons, and to gain tips and tricks for facilitating.
All righty. Any questions on that one?
No.
Okay. This seems pretty easy, I think. Are you feeling pretty good about it?
I do. I mean,
yeah.
I read through the book and it looks,
Yeah.
I just think my kids are going to enjoy it because they've been, one of the things they put on their thing they wanted to learn about was animals, and it was always hard to figure out how to do the animals where they would have hands on, and so they could, I feel like they learn better when they're doing hands on.
Oh, for sure.
And so I was excited when I saw this because I
Yeah.
thought, oh, this will be great.
Yeah, and it looks like your facilitator can also just read, he or she can read the information directly from the book to them, and then they can get into their teams and start building. So it's a lot of hands-on activity. So, okay, we will move on to sample lesson here. Maybe. Come on.
Welcome back as we continue to dig into Brick Lab Zoo. In this video, we'll take a look at the full 12-day learning sequence and take a closer look at one of the day's lessons. Here we go. Over the 12 days of Brick Lab Zoo, students explore our planet's diverse habitats and the animals that are uniquely adapted to live in each. On day 1, students learn about the camel's adaptations for life in a hot, dry desert climate, then build one out of bricks. Day 2 is focused on the lizard's ability to protect itself from predators as students learn about its adaptations and build a brick model. On day 3, learners build a brick lobster and find out how it's well adapted to life on the ocean floor. On day 4, we explore the open ocean, learning about shark adaptations and then building a brick model. Day 5 is all about crocodiles. Students build a crocodile and learn how their adaptations have allowed them to survive for millions of years. On day 6, learners explore the jungle and learn about how monkeys are adapted to life in the trees. On day 7, students build a yak and explore how it's adapted to life in a cold, harsh mountain environment. Day 8 is focused on predator adaptations as students learn about the amazing puma. We'll take a closer look at this lesson later on in this video. On day 9, learners stretch their necks as they build a giraffe and uncover how being tall is such a useful adaptation. On day 10, learners build an elephant and examine the adaptations of this massive animal. Day 11 is focused on habitats as learners build a brick zoo with specially designed habitats for different creatures. On day 12, students take inspiration from all of the animals they have learned about to build an original creature with its own special adaptations. Now let's take a closer look at a lesson. Day 8 is all about the puma. To begin the day's lesson, you'll lead a short discussion to get students thinking about the animals pumas share their habitat with, as well as introduce the idea of an endangered species. Next is an optional intro activity where learners get an understanding of the puma's amazing jumping abilities by comparing the distance that they can jump. Next, working individually or in pairs, students complete a build of the puma out of bricks. In the engineering challenge, learners are challenged to think about the potential prey species of the puma, then work to build models of those creatures using bricks. Be sure to leave a few minutes at the end of the lesson to pose the wrap-up questions, which are a great way to debrief and check for understanding. If you have extra time or a group that moves quickly, there are also 2 recommended extension activities. Bricks are an integral part of this day and throughout all 12 days of Brick Lab Zoo. While we may typically think of building bricks as toys, they can also be an incredible tool for learning. From boosting fine motor skills and spatial reasoning to improving creativity and critical thinking, manipulatives like Brick Lab bricks can be used to represent ideas in easy to understand and multisensory ways. For example, in day 8 of Brick Lab Zoo, learners build literacy and communication skills as they read build plans and work together to build their brick puma. Then they exercise their creativity and critical thinking skills as they consider how to represent puma prey with brick models. We encourage you to think about other ways to use this versatile learning tool in your classroom beyond the 12 days of its curriculum. Be sure to check out the following videos for facilitation tips and tricks.
Okay. So, a couple things from that. I don't know if they really talked about this, but and I think it says it in the book, but you can allow for free play at the end too if you have, like, let's say a student, two students are working together and they complete their puma, and you check it, and then maybe once they're done, they can do free play for a while until all the other students are done. And so that's just a great way to keep them engaged when they're done. And so that's kind of what I took away from that video. Do you have any questions about that one or anything you saw?
No.
Okay. Okay. And if they do work in pairs too, then maybe you can have more more students in one group, like
Yeah.
whole group, depending on how many you have. So I can't remember when I used to teach this a long time ago, and I don't remember how many I had at one time, but 21st. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just like the thought, because that's what we started doing with our 2nd through 4th grade is, because I'm in a room now, I have been having the kids go down to that classroom with somebody, and it's been really nice to have. So I'm thinking K1 might be really nice.
Okay.
And then have 2nd grade do it one day too. But I was
Yeah.
thinking that might be just kind of nice, have them split up a little bit, but.
Yeah. Okay, one more video here and then we'll be done.
Welcome back as we continue to dig into Brick Lab Zoo. In this video, we'll cover facilitation tips and tricks, along with suggestions for how to adapt the materials to your unique learners. Here we go. Bricks are used throughout all 12 days of this curriculum. If you keep the following tips and tricks in mind, you'll have no trouble staying on top of your brick management. At the beginning of your instructor guide, you'll find a page with some brick facts. When referring to bricks, we use a standard nomenclature which is based on the color and size. When measuring size, we'll count the number of studs a brick is wide by long. For example, the brick I'm holding would be called a red 2x4 because it's red and has 2 studs this direction and 4 going this way. At least once a year, you'll want to give your bricks a thorough cleaning. The easiest way to do this is to put bricks in the mesh bag included in your kit and put the whole bag in the top rack of your dishwasher. Another handy item included in your kit is your brick separator, which makes breaking down builds a breeze and saves you from sore fingers. Build plans are designed to be super user-friendly for anyone from the most seasoned builders to those working with bricks for the first time. Let's take a look. The first thing to keep in mind is that the color shown does not need to be the color students use to complete their own build. And in some cases, there won't be enough for all of your students to use the same exact colors. Instead, encourage learners to get creative with their color choices. In the diagrams, previously completed parts will be shown with a grayed out or lighter color, while the pieces that will be added in the current step are shown with the more vibrant color. The total number of each type of brick needed for the full build will be listed at the beginning, as well as for each individual step. It's helpful to locate all of the bricks needed for each step before beginning that step. If it makes sense for your classroom setup, you can have students pour their bricks out onto the tables so that they're easier to sort through. We understand that every group is different, so while this curriculum is designed for learners in grades 1 through 3, there are a variety of ways you can differentiate and adapt it to fit your learners' unique needs and interests. Each day includes a math extension as well as an English language arts extension, which can be used to scale up or add additional rigor for older or more advanced learners. To provide extra support for learners for whom builds are more challenging, consider pairing them with a more advanced student or going through the builds as a group, making sure that each pair has completed the step before moving on to the next one. Are you looking to build on the Brick Lab Zoo experience? Consider the following build your own extension activity. Have students pick an animal that they're interested in learning about and do research about its habitat and the adaptations it relies on to survive there. Have them create brick models of the animal they picked and take turns presenting on their animal in small groups. If you have any questions that have not been answered in these videos.
All right, any questions about that one?
No.
Okay.